Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome. We will be starting. I'm Stephanie Winet with the International Organization of Employers, and I'm delighted to welcome you to the second webinar of the AI Xcelerate initiative. As some of you know, the International Organization of Employers, with support from Microsoft, launched AI Xcelerate in last July. This initiative offers free AI courses for SMEs with one clear goal: to make AI adoption simple, practical, and accessible for small and medium-sized enterprises around the world. For those who have not yet taken the first AI fluency course, we strongly recommend it. You will find a link to the course in the chat, so please feel free to click and take the course. I'd also like to take the opportunity to introduce our second free online course, AI for SMEs, which was launched today. And this course is even more tailored to the needs of SMEs. It guides participants through how AI can be used in practical and effective ways, always keeping business objectives in mind. The course is a two modules course built on three components. First, it explores the real-world opportunities and challenges of adopting AI and how it can help boost productivity. Then it addresses policy considerations, including regulation and ethical issues. And finally, it showcases how other SMEs are already putting AI to work in their own businesses. And you'll also find a link to the course in the chat. I'm very pleased to be joined today by Aashi Gupta, Regional Training Manager, EMEA Microsoft Elevate. And together we will demonstrate how AI adoption can enhance efficiency, strengthen competitiveness, and open up new market opportunities. Aashi will also address the main challenges and solutions related to workforce readiness, skills transformation, and the evolving role of human talent in an AI-driven economy. It's an exciting presentation ahead. A few housekeeping rules. If you have any questions during the presentations, feel free to post them using the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. And we have also enabled reactions as a way to encourage you to engage. So please do engage with us during this session. The promise of artificial intelligence is real, and the stakes have never been higher. Yet with so many opportunities, it can be difficult to know where to start or how to navigate the AI journey. AI tools are reshaping how we operate, and our broad adoption of AI across organizations enables us to deliver better, more impactful experiences. Businesses across many sectors are using AI to automate repetitive tasks, improve decision-making, and optimize operations. For us, for employers, this is not about replacing jobs, but about enabling smarter ways of working, improving efficiency, reducing costs, and strengthening the ability of enterprises, especially SMEs, to compete in global value chains. At IOE, we're convinced that AI can play a central role in shaping the future of work by transforming job roles, skills requirements, and workplace organization, as well as workforce planning. We also trust that when implemented responsibly, AI can support more resilient businesses, enhance workforce adaptability, and ensure that digital transformation works for people and enterprises alike. While technology may change tasks within jobs, it also creates opportunities for new roles, higher productivity, and better job matching when supported by the right policy and skills development. And this is key to us, and it underscores the importance of investing in workforce upskilling and lifelong learning, equipping employees with the skills, in particular human social skills, to understand how to use AI effectively will be essential to support a smooth transition. And this leads us to the topic of our next speaker, who will explore this in greater detail. Thank you all for being with us today. And please remember, if you have questions, post them in the Q&A function and we will address them after Aashi's presentation. Aashi, over to you. Good morning, Aashi.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I look forward to the presentation today. Give me a minute to just share my screen and then we can take it forward from there. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen. Just give me a thumbs up and if you can hear me properly. Perfect. Uh, Hello, everyone. So, as Stephanie mentioned, this is series two of a six series webinar. The first webinar was taken by my colleague Alison on 8th of December, where she spoke about AI foundations. And today we will talk about AI for digital productivity. I do encourage you to also participate in the upcoming webinars throughout the year. One second. Okay, perfect. Um, so, as you already know, I'm Aashi Gupta. I am based in Dubai. I am born and brought up in Delhi, India. I moved to Dubai about 7 years ago and I started my career as an educator teaching underserved and under resourced communities. And since then, I have been in various roles focused on skilling. In my current role as training manager at Microsoft Elevate, I support live trainings to bring the opportunity of AI to education, nonprofits, and workforce at large. So here's the agenda for today. We are currently at welcome. If there are any questions, please put them in the chat on the Q&A feature. Wherever possible, I'll try and address them or else take them together during the wrap up. So to start us off, let me set the stage. Research shows that students learn better with learning objectives shared. So here is what I hope to share with you today. We will learn about Copilot and how it can assist to enhance productivity. We will learn the art of effective prompting and then craft prompts together. So to really set the stage, this session is designed for SMEs who are new to generative AI. And we are going to make it practical, hands on, and relevant to your work. But first, let me guide you through a story that will help us through our entire session. Imagine you are the owner of Growmart. Growmart is a small shop selling grocery items and fresh produce to neighborhood households. You have a few employees full time or part time to support you. You are responsible for procurement, sales, marketing, finance, and making sure everything runs smoothly. And here is the twist: you've just learned to use generative AI and using Copilot, your new AI powered teammate to support everyday tasks. Throughout the session today and in the upcoming sessions, we'll follow your journey as you use Copilot to support you. You learn how to write effective prompts and apply AI in ways that save time and reduce stress. Throughout today's session, we'll keep coming back to Gromart's story. Every example, every prompt, every hands on activity will be grounded in this real world scenario because we want you to walk away with skills you can immediately use in your work every day. Before we really dive into the tools, let's talk about something even more important. Working with generative AI is like Copilot isn't just about learning a new tool, it's also about shifting how we think about our work. As as SMEs, world operates from a place of scarcity, not enough time, not enough staff, not enough funding. It's easy to feel like we are always behind. It's easy to feel very overwhelmed. But Copilot invites us to shift from scarcity to abundance. It's like gaining a new teammate who's always available, never tired, and ready to help you think, write, plan, and create. And that shift requires moving from a fixed mindset: I'm not a technical person, I can't really do this, I'm not good at AI, to a growth mindset. I can learn this today, I can experiment, and I can use this to amplify my impact. You don't need to be an expert, you just need to be curious. Copilot is here to support you, not replace you. It's a tool that helps you do more of what matters with less stress and more creativity. So, today, I invite you to approach this session with a spirit of exploration. Try things, ask questions, and imagine what's possible when you have a little help from AI. So, before we really dive into what's Copilot, let's take a moment to check in with ourselves and with each other where we really are on our journey. Working with AI is new for a lot of people, and that's perfectly okay. This session is designed for beginners, and we're all here to learn together. So let's do a quick pulse check, but let's make it fun. In the chat, drop the number that best describes where you are on the AI adventure map. Number one being the seed planter. I've heard of AI, but I'm not sure what it actually does. Or you're the cautious explorer. I've seen AI in action, but I haven't used it myself. Or you are the paddle in the water pilot. I've tried AI tools once or twice. I'm still figuring it out. Or you are the confident co pilot. I use AI occasionally and I'm starting to get the hang of it. Or you are the AI astronaut. I use AI regularly and I'm always looking for new ways to apply it. There are no wrong answers here. This is just to help me get a sense of the room. And it's also a reminder wherever you are on this map, you belong here. Great. I see one, four. I see some threes. Amazing. I see some fours again. I see a two. Perfect. I see a one. Thank you for sharing. So that's a great mix that I see today, and it means we can all learn from each other. So thank you for sharing. So let's move to our first objective, which is understanding Copilot. Okay. So, generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that can create new content like text, summaries, plans, or ideas based on what you ask it. It doesn't just retrieve information, it generates something new based on patterns it's learned from a massive amount of data. Think of it like this: if traditional software is like a vending machine, you press a button and you get a fixed result. Generative AI is more like a chef. You give it ingredients, which is your prompt, and it creates something new based on your request. And that's where Copilot comes in. It's a standalone, browser based AI assistant. You ask in a prompt a question, a task, a request, and Copilot responds with a draft, a summary, a plan, or even a list of ideas. You don't need to install anything, you don't need to be technical, you just need to know what you want help with and how to ask for it. So let's bring this back to GrowMart. You have some discount offers coming up. To plan for that, you need to send an email, prep a list with new prices, and brainstorm ideas for community outreach. You could do all of that manually, or you could ask Copilot to help. That's the shift we are making today, from doing everything ourselves to working with AI as a partner, your new work best friend. I'm going to ask you now to navigate to Copilot. You can scan the QR code on your phone or go to copilot.microsoft.com. When you are at Copilot, please share a reaction. Great. I see some thumbs ups coming in. That's amazing. So, as you access Copilot, I'll give you a little bit of a tour of what the visual interface looks like. As you can see, it's a very intuitive and easy interface. Uh, Here is an icon which looks like a pen with a board, a chalkboard. So, this is where you click to start a new chat. There's also a text box where you can enter any prompts, or you can even use this microphone to speak to the copilot directly. In case you are new to Copilot or new to prompting, it also suggests you certain prompts so that you can already start to just engage with Copilot and learn how to really use AI. You also can see that there's a plus sign, so that allows you to upload a file that you would like to reference or a certain image. I also already spoke about a mic where you can dictate or speak to the Copilot and then suggested prompts. Before we continue, let's quickly cover how Copilot protects your information. Your chat prompts and responses are not saved and they are not used to train the AI model. No one at Microsoft can view your chats, there is no human access. This means you can confidently draft, brainstorm, and explore ideas in Copilot, knowing your data stays private and secure. Now that we understand Copilot and the interface, let's talk about the art of prompting. So let's find out which function are you most excited about as you think about AI. Type the number on the chat with where you like or where you would like to engage the most. You can create or revise emails. One thing I like is to ask for in my emails is to look at tone, because sometimes on emails the tone doesn't always translate. I'm not particularly active on social media, but I want professional posts, so I will use Copilot to make them. With hashtags, that is so helpful. I can even create an image to match my post, or you can even get a business proposal. So just put a number on the chat which corresponds to what you're most excited about. Great. I see a lot of numbers 2, 3, and 4. I can write my own emails. That's amazing. 1, 3, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. Great. I see a lot of responses coming in. Wow, we have a mixed crowd today. So we have a lot of different responses coming in. Okay, that's amazing. So we're going to go over prompting. We enter prompts or instructions for Copilot to follow. You can do this very simply and still do really useful things. But the better you can write your prompt, the better a result you will get. It doesn't need to be done in one perfect shot. You can go back and forth with Copilot to refine the results it's already produced. Think of it like a conversation you would have with an assistant. The first step is to clearly tell Copilot what is it that you need. Here are some examples. You may want to ask Copilot to learn about a project or a concept. You may want to summarize information. You may want to create some engaging content. You may want to edit a text. Or you may even want to just transform a document or catch up on missing items. Really, the idea is to give very clear instructions so that Copilot knows what is the kind of output that you're seeking for. The second step is to include the right prompt ingredients. To get the best response, it is important to focus on some key elements. What is your goal? What response do you want from Copilot? What is the context? Why do you need it and who is involved? What is the source? Which information source or samples should Copilot use? And then, really, what is the expectation? How should Copilot respond to meet your expectations? Now, imagine you as owner of Growmart, you require an updated price for certain items from your supplier. You can ask Copilot to create the first draft of the email and then tweak as needed, saving some time. First, we have the goal. What is the output we want from Copilot? We want Copilot to draft a professional email. Second, the context. Why do you need it and who is involved? The email is to the supplier asking about updated price list and flexible payment terms. Third, whenever possible, include sources and examples such as supporting documents or a web page. In this case, it could be the previous or current payment terms, or it could even be a price list. Fourth, the expectations. This tells Copilot how to respond, the tone, the parameters, the type of response you're looking for. In this case, we want the email to be concise and polite in tone. We've talked about the first step in prompting, telling chat what to do, about the second step, including the right ingredients. Now, the third is that we want you to keep the conversation going. Follow up on the response with another prompt. Expect some back and forth conversation to get the results that you're looking for. Sometimes it helps to break down a task into multiple steps or prompts too, so you can verify after each step that Copilot is being guided in the right direction. In this case, Copilot came back with a draft response. I can ask Copilot to make changes to the draft, or as it is a suggesting to create a shorter follow up reminder in case the supplier doesn't respond. So, really think of it as a conversation that you're having with your assistant or a friend, uh, and giving clear instructions. Sorry, it's just taking me a little bit of time to move the slides. Please bear with me. Okay, now it's working. On this slide, I want to highlight a few prompting habits that can impact the quality of Copilot's responses. These aren't really rules, but they're really helpful guidelines that will make your experience smoother and more effective. First, remember to start fresh when the topic changes. Copilot works best when each conversation focuses on a single task. If you jump from writing an email to creating a social media caption in the same chat, the tool may blend instructions. Using new chat keeps things clear and avoids confusion. Second, avoid asking Copilot to create anything inappropriate, unethical, or harmful. Like all responsible AI tools, it won't generate content that violates safety, legal, or ethical standards. Third, try to avoid conflicting instructions. For example, asking for something to be formal but casual in the same prompt can make it unclear what you really want. Choose one direction and keep to it consistently. Fourth, steer away from negatives like don't mention or don't focus on. It's much more effective to tell Copilot exactly what you do want instead of what to exclude. Finally, avoid slang, heavy jargon, or very informal language, especially in professional tasks. Copilot can understand informal language, but clearer, more structured wordings typically leads to stronger and more accurate outputs. Overall, the goal is to help Copilot to help you. Clear, focused prompts lead to better quality results and reduce the need for rework. We named our suite of products Copilot because we want people to remember that the person responsible for final output from generative AI. AI systems can make mistakes, and it is important to review what you get back with a critical lens to make sure it is what you really want. Remember, I made the comparison that AI is like a helpful assistant. Well, assistants usually need regular feedback and their work supervised. It is the same here. Now we're going to do a quick exercise to put the prompting framework into action. We've seen how we break a strong prompt into four parts: goal, context, source, and expectation. So now we're going to look at a prompt and then identify the various parts of the GCSE framework. A discount campaign is coming up at Growmart. You need to prepare some communication assets to create awareness about the campaign in the neighborhood. You want to ask your teammate AI to develop some SMS or WhatsApp messages. Here is a sample prompt to do that. Your task is to look at the prompt and identify where each of the GCSE goal, context, source, expectation element shows up. Take 2 minutes to read the prompt carefully and put your answers on the chat. Think about: what is the goal? What are we asking Copilot to produce? What context is provided? Who is involved and why? Whether there's any source the prompt refers to, and what are the expectations, instructions about tone, format, or constraint. We'll walk through the answers together in the next slide, so don't worry about getting it perfect. This is just to help you start spotting the structures of a well crafted prompt. So take 2 minutes to identify the various sources. I'll just read out the prompt for all of you. You are a marketing lead at Growmart. Draft two short, friendly WhatsApp or SMS messages announcing 10% discount on rice, oil, and lentils from 20th to 22nd of December. Use warm, friendly tone, including clear call to action to visit the store or place an order for delivery. Keep it under 120 words. So take a minute and think about the uh, different framework that we've spoken about regarding goal, context, expectation, uh, and source, and write it down in the chat, and then we'll go through it together. Don't be shy. Feel free to share your responses on the chat. What do you think is the goal? What is the context? What is the source? And what is the expectation looking at this prompt? Great. I see some responses starting to come in. Goal, draft to WhatsApp or SMS messages. That's great. What do you think is the context? What is the source? Goal is to announce discounts. Okay. What's the expectation? Feel free to give in your responses. Let's take another 30 seconds. The goal is to draft a short and friendly WhatsApp or SMS message. Great. We have a few responses regarding goal. Does anybody want to try? What is the context, or what's the expectation, or is there any source? Okay, we have a few more responses. Amazing. Context is announce a discount offer. So goal is to announce. Source is Gromart. It doesn't say where they should be. Context is announcement of offers, receive sales orders. Okay, that's amazing. So we do have a lot of responses coming in, and let's now go through it together to understand which are the different uh, elements of the framework now. Okay, so the goal here is a specific output you want Copilot to create. In this case, we want Copilot to create two short WhatsApp or SMS messages. Clearly stating the goal helps Copilot understand exactly what you expect. So that's really the goal that we have here. I did see a few responses about it. The goal is to create a marketing campaign. And that is correct. That is the goal for GrowMart, and that is what we intend to do as an overall bigger vision. But specifically for Copilot in this particular scenario, we want Copilot to really draft those two messages for us. So that's the goal that we are providing to Copilot for this specific task. So let's go to context now. Context explains why the task matters and who is involved. Here, the prompt frames you as the marketing lead at Growmart and specifies the upcoming discount campaign to guide Copilot's response. So that's really the context that we're looking at, that it's a 10% discount on rice, oil, and lentils. And these are the dates, and you are the marketing lead. So that's the context that we're providing to Copilot. Now moving to expectations. Expectations tells Copilot how to respond. In this case, we've asked Copilot to use a warm, friendly tone, including a clear call to action and keeping the message concise to under 120 words. This example does not reference specific files, so the source element is intentionally absent. This is a reminder that not every prompt needs all the four parts. So let's talk a little bit more about source. Including a source in a prompt gives Copilot something concrete to anchor its response on, like a document, a price list, past messages, or any reference material. It reduces guesswork, it improves accuracy, and keeps outputs aligned with the real details of your scenario. However, when the task depends on facts like numbers, dates, a legal policy, or a product list, adding a source helps Copilot produce a far more relevant and reliable result. Not every prompt needs a source, but when precision matters, it makes a big difference to add a source. So now I'm going to navigate to Copilot to give you a little bit of demo of what it looks like. If you're not already using Copilot, please use this QR code or use copilot.microsoft.com to navigate to Copilot. And I will also just stop sharing my screen and reshare my Copilot. So just give me a minute as I transition. Okay, let me know if you see my screen. Just give me a thumbs up if you're able to see my screen. Okay, perfect. So this is me logged into my Copilot. As you can see, I have logged in using my personal email address. I have This is a free plan and it's available for anybody to use. Uh, you can see that there is a button here where I can start a new chat or clear an existing chat. Uh, Here is a box where I can add my prompts like we've discussed. I also have a mic here where I can like dictate a prompt or speak to the copilot. And if I'm new, then I can also use some of these topics to really start prompting. There's also a plus sign so that I can attach files, attach image, or make something with copilot. So I'll just use the prompt that we were just discussing and see what it gives me. So I've just copy pasted the same prompt that is to really generate WhatsApp or SMS messages. And let's see what Copilot provides me with. So here is the message that I get from Copilot. As you can see, it's given me something which is ready to send. It's under 120 words, and it clearly talks about the specific items that I had requested. Great news, enjoy 10% off on rice, oils, lentils. Drop by at your nearest Grow Mart or message us to place your delivery order. So it has given me all of these details that I had asked for. Now, if I want, I can request it to make changes basis uh, my context or what I really require, or if there's a different customer segment, I can add that. I want it to be a little bit more casual, so I can ask it to add emojis or a playful tone. So really think of it as a to and fro between your assistant and you to get the outcome that you really want. So let's see. Let me say, hey, I need a playful tone. Let's see what Copilot gets back to me with. Okay, so I've asked for a playful tone, and this is what it says. Gromart's got a little December treat for you. It's added emojis which were not there earlier. It again references to the specific items and the dates that I had mentioned. And then it says, your pantry will thank you. Swing by the store or ping us for delivery. We'll zip your goodies right over. So, as you can see, you can really play with it. You can ensure that it gives you the right output and the right tone, and you can keep messaging it to and fro till you have your desired output and result. Since I've logged in with my own personal email address, I can also see some of my past conversations so that I can go back to them and also refer to them if I need them at any point of time. So, as you can see, it's pretty intuitive and easy to start with. And once you start using it, it becomes really easy to try new things. So, I'll stop sharing my screen now and go back to the presentation. Give me a moment as I share my screen again. Okay. Sorry, I just need to go back to my slide. 1 second. Okay, perfect. Sorry, I made a mistake. 1 second, please. Thank you for bearing with me. Yeah. So now we will really go on to the next section, which is around sample prompting. And we're moving towards the third objective of our day, which is to craft prompts. Okay. On this slide, I want to show how we can bring everything we've learned about prompting into real practical use. Now, these sample prompts that demonstrate different ways Copilot can support SMEs like the owner of Gromart. The first example is a prompt to create a business profile for Gromart. The second example focuses on creating a caption for a social media campaign. The next sample shows that Copilot can support tasks beyond writing, like summarizing meetings into action items or generating financial insights from revenue files. With the right prompt structure, Copilot can turn raw information into something organized and actionable. Finally, notice how some prompts begin with a role, like you are a financial analyst. Now, giving Copilot a role offers context that makes responses more tailored and professional. As you walk through these examples, think about your own work. Are there any tasks that feel repetitive, time consuming, or require drafting from scratch and can likely be supported by Copilot with a well crafted prompt? The samples that we've discussed only scratch the surface of the possibilities with prompting for Copilot. Think of a task you would like Copilot to help you with. Maybe you need help designing a business proposal, or you want to create a campaign, or you want to create an email for your stakeholders, or maybe you want to find some support for a professional developmental goal. Maybe you want to draft a new policy or a procedure, or maybe you have a different personal requirement. Maybe you want to plan a holiday trip with your family. So once you identify an upcoming task, write a prompt that includes all the four elements of an effective prompt and test it out on Copilot. Use the GCSE framework, which is the goal, context, source, and expectation, as you think about crafting that prompt. Feel free to share your prompt or responses you receive on the Copilot in chat. Let people know if you would like feedback on your prompt. So let's take 5 minutes now and think about that scenario where you would like Copilot to help you, and just use Copilot to try different prompts and see what kind of responses that you get. Feel free to share your prompts or your responses on the chat, and we will discuss them together. So let's take 5 minutes now to do that. Feel free to put in any prompts that you're thinking about or different scenarios that you think where Copilot can help you. Feel free to put it on chat, share with others, and just try and use Copilot and experiment with it. That's amazing that you're using Copilot for creating campaigns. Are there other scenarios that you can think about? Feel free to put in your prompts in the chat. Just use this time to engage more with Copilot and learn about AI. Yeah, review context with different documents. That's a great example. Drafting proposals, yes. I find Copilot very useful when I need to start with like a new document or a new proposal. It just helps me give more structure to that proposal and have like a nice first draft, which I can then reiterate and work upon. For industrial trainings, yes, you can maybe create lesson plans or maybe even quizzes or some kind of assessment. I love to use Copilot for all kinds of questions. For developing organizational policies, yeah, that's a great use. Or creating templates for some of the documents, yes, it does really help put a structure in the place. Let's take another one more minute to come back. Creating script for a podcast, yeah, that's a great example. Summarize notes, creating PowerPoint slides, for organizational policies and strategy. Okay, that was great. So now I hope that those 5 minutes were useful. You were able to think about different scenarios where you could apply and use Copilot in your day to day work, and you're able to engage with it. Okay, so to get more ideas about using prompts and to spark creativity, you can also find here some generic prompts to use. Now, this resource is focused more on Microsoft 365 Copilot. However, you can really use the same prompts on Copilot, like we explored, together or on any other AI tool you prefer. So I'll also put this link on the chat in a while, or you can get. I hope you can get this deck so that you're able to also use some of these prompts here. So really, thank you so much for the opportunity today and the time today. And I'll now move to wrapping up and see if you have any questions that I can address.
Aashi, thank you so much for this presentation and please, participants, you can raise questions in the chat or in the Q&A function. But meanwhile, Aashi, can I ask a question? I was wondering, to what extent does Copilot have a memory? So the prompts that are drafted first and are on the left side of your screen, are they taken into account when responding to new prompts, new questions? So I was wondering to what extent the history of your prompts and the content of the history of your prompts would be taken into account when drafting the new answers from Copilot.
Yeah, and thank you so much for the question. That's a great question. So when we start a new chat for Copilot, it's a completely new chat, it's completely new conversation. And it does not really take reference from your previous chats with the Copilot to address that question. Because really the idea for starting a new chat is that we don't want to mix up two kinds of topics, and which could lead to Copilot hallucinating or mixing up two different kinds of questions. However, within the same chat, like for example, if I'm asking about creating a social media caption for GrowMart, and then I wanted to reiterate on that caption or create like a new design for that same campaign, I can use the same chat and it will use all of that information that I have provided before as a basis or a reference to give me those new answers. But if you're starting a new chat, then Copilot does not use any of your prior chats to provide you with any of that context to address answers. Does that help?
Understood. Yeah, absolutely. No, thanks for that clarification. I'd have another question if I can, Aashi, and I'll take the opportunity to raise a second question if you allow. We do have a few minutes ahead of us. To what extent do the prompts need to be precise? I understand that the more precise and the more you feed the prompt, the more you feed Copilot, the more precise your answer would be, and hence also the framework that you just presented. But and the more accurate, I guess, the answer would be. But to what extent do we need? Because sometimes we do have clear ideas. We want to put everything in the prompt. Is that useful? Is that advisable? What are your suggestions here?
So I think of Copilot as really like your friend or like your assistant, so that you can just ask questions or you can ask for support with different items, and it helps you do that. I think depending on what the outcome that you're seeking to find, your prompt would really differ. So for example, if I want Copilot to create a very specific business proposal, then I would give it more details so that they understand like who's the business proposal for, what is the context, what kind of expectation do I have, is there like a website or some source file that you can refer to learn more about the kind of program that I'm referring to for that proposal. So I would want it to be more detailed. But then there are times when I just wanted to maybe summarize some information. So I would just want maybe like, put like a transcript and tell it that, hey, just summarize this. So it doesn't really need to be very detailed. It's something very straightforward. Or at times it can be even something simple like, hey, can you explain what's happening in XYZ part of the country in simple terms, or can you explain me this specific policy in simple terms? And it doesn't have to follow all of the GCSE framework, but can just be like an open-ended simple question as well. So I think it would really depend on really what is the kind of output that we want from Copilot in terms of how detailed we want to be. I also do want to just stress again on the source piece. I did briefly mention that while I was speaking, but I think that's important because we don't need to provide a source at all times. But when we are talking about a specific legal policy or we're talking about some revenue numbers, something very specific, so it's better to provide a source or some sort of data piece so that Copilot has a context or a reference from where it can look at details and get back to us, and we get more specific and accurate information.
Understood. Thank you so much. Aashi, I see some questions related to whether the recording will be made available. Yes, the recording of this session will be made available on the website of the IOE, on the AI Xcelerate platform. So please do visit IOE's website and you'll have access to this recording. Those are all online sessions, so open really for participants to join online. Aashi, I'd like really to thank you so much for this presentation on the art of prompting. I've learned a lot. I'm sure the participants online have learned a lot as well. My main takeaways are really this mindset shift that needs to operate everywhere. We need to embrace these new tools that are coming our way. We need to be curious and to have this spirit of exploration. And this is something that I would really like to highlight because it's key. If we want to use and to understand, we need to shift our mindset and to embrace the tool and be ready to learn and be ready to take some time to try to understand and test. And as you were saying, take some time. You gave us 5 minutes to use, to test. So really an invitation to you all to now really test furthermore Copilot and see how it can further help you in your daily work. The trust component is also key, and using Copilot as a friend, we usually trust our friends. So this is something that is really key. And as users, we really value the fact that we can trust that our data are safe. And now the prompt ingredients, I think this is also my main takeaway. The third takeaway: for the right recipe to work, goal, context, source, expectations. I'll keep this really high when I'll try for my next prompts. Clear instructions, clear prompts will be key for a clear output. So thank you again so much, Aashi, for this presentation. Thank you all to all the participants who have joined us today. Please join us for the next session, which will take place the 19th of February. Save your date, save the dates, block your calendars, 19th of February, and we will be talking about responsible AI. I wish you all a very nice afternoon, day, rest of the day, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you so much.